everyone, coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report on this early afternoon. Coming up, we get the highlights of what's going on Raw after Crown Jewel and towards Survivor Series. We'll talk about it coming up and what a show it was. We'll get to the details coming up here. But see on what's CM Punk gonna have his latest plans? We talk about it here and now at the Bron Breakker Report for the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Raw Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Kendra Dix here. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. All right, let's get to here the nitty gritty right here, right now. Damn, let's get here, right now. What a show we have for you coming up on the Pro Wrestling Show. To it quick. Hello, folks. All right, we're here. Thank you all for watching the Pro Wrestling Show here. All right, CM Punk. We'll get to him momentarily and what's going on with CM Punk stuff. So CM Punk, we'll get to him momentarily. But we start off with this. We start off with, well, we saw CM Punk. We told you that CM Punk was coming out there. CM Punk will be part of the triple threat match between him, LA Knight, and Jey Uso. Which one of these three guys is next in line for a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship? CM Punk looks like he's destined, he's ready to become the world's heavyweight champion. We'll see that coming up as well. But we get started with this. The Vision, if we can show the Vision right quick. The Vision kicked off the show tonight. Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, and Bronson Reed, along with Paul Heyman, were there. Seth Rollins talking about life. He joined the Vision, which that really don't make no sense. Him, because he is the leader of the Vision. We saw that coming up, but it really these turning events gonna make you look at WWE real different. Like, I didn't see it coming, but it's too soon, too quick. Why do that and stuff so early? We'll get them in a little bit later. But Asuka and Kairi Singh are kind of like have a toxic relationship. That relationship in battle turned into that. As you see right here, Kairi Singh is trying to stay grounded as Asuka blames Kairi for losing the match. At the pay-per-view at Crown Jewel, she feels like Kairi Singh should have done more, but Kairi Singh was only concerned about her own intake and what she was doing and stuff like that. Kairi Singh looked at it like that, looked at it like this, and saw it as that way. We kind of saw it being that way. But Kairi Singh kind of afraid and wants to stand up to Asuka. Asuka playing bully. Asuka seeing that Kairi Singh and the rest of them playing them and stuff like that. So you kind of see and know however that went down. But if we can see and determine what went down, but it's all that being that way with that. But Oscar and Kyrie Sane telling Oscar telling Kyrie Sane that she's gonna be taking on Rhea Ripley a little bit later on the show. Well, it's this right here. Rusev looking at Dominic Mysterio. Rusev and Dominic Mysterio um, having their issues and stuff. And what's going down? I don't know what's going down with that. All right, there. Well, as you see right here, Penta was in action. Penta was in action. I think Penta went against Dominic Mysterio for a match for the Intercontinental title. But Dominic retained his Intercontinental Championship, as you can see right here. Dominic showing what he wants to do and how he wants to be. We see Dominic with a new tattoo on his neck. And so Dominic now wearing the tattoo surrounding his neck and stuff. So we saw right there with Dominic Mysterio retaining the Intercontinental Championship over Penta. Dominic Mysterio and Penta showing what he wants to do and how he bees and stuff and bees that way and stuff like that. Well, we get to this right here. Rhea Ripley went against Kyrie Sane, and Rhea Ripley taking Kyrie Sane down. Oscar blatantly attacked Rhea Ripley from behind, leaving Rhea Ripley down and out. Rhea Ripley um showcasing trying to showcase her homeland being pummeled in Australia. Oscar a little bit mad over telling on what went down. Oscar showing what she went through in Oscar, giving her 2 cents and stuff like that we saw with Oscar. Well, speaking of that, Bailey and Lyra Curia was in tag team action, both women. Lyra Curia still doesn't know to trust Bailey. Now I've seen this new crazy Bailey. Bailey and Lyra Curia gets the victory and beat the Judgment Day, the Women Judgment Day. The Women Judgment Day did not see it coming. The Women Judgment Day got their foot stalled, but it looked left turned their attention to Stephanie Vicure. It looked like Roxanne Perez wants a piece of Stephanie Vicure and become the women's world champion. And Roxanne Perez might stepping up to the women's champion and wants a shot. So we could see that being a possibility down the road for them and stuff. But a lot of the women matches tonight, this morning, were kind of bland as usual. But it is what it is. Bailey and Live Victoria win, and we saw that. Speaking of women, we see Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree. We see Otis on a t-shirt. Maxine Dupree announced that she will get a shot of the Women's Intercontinental Championship after she did this last week to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch didn't see it coming, and now Becky Lynch must defend her Women's Intercontinental Championship next week on Raw against Maxine Dupree. This is Maxine Dupree's first chance of a lifetime, first opportunity to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Can she do it? Only time will tell on that, but there's a lot women featured. You see the Kabuki Warriors taking down Rhea Ripley and sending her down to a pummel, but we'll get to it a little bit later on what went down and stuff and how it went down. Well, main event Jey Uso came out there running to the ring. Main event Jey Uso came out there to save his brother Jimmy. Jimmy got squashed by Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed taking over with the Sesame Splash. So we see Bronson Reed and them taking down Jimmy. CM Punk confronting one of his opponents tonight. Punk confronting LA Knight. These two men will meet tonight on Raw, later on Raw, for a shot for Seth Rollins' World Championship. Who's next in line to get a shot at the World Championship? And what does that mean going forward and stuff? Well, we saw this right here. CM Punk pinned Jey Uso to get the 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso trying to show a new edge, a new life. got pinned by Seth. It was a incredible match right here. Bron Breakker coming out of nowhere, spearing LA Knight, spearing anything that moves in sight. Bron Breakker and then Paul Heyman leading court along with world champion Seth Rollins with Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed doing the attack. But we remember we told you earlier that Seth Rollins was talking about, he glad he won because he didn't. Yeah, he would have they would everybody in the division would have looked at him different and just crazy to me. Just that's beyond crazy. But this is the most crazy acidine thing I ever seen right here. This is crazy. You see Bronson Reed and all of them, Braun and all them attack. You know who? It was just crazy to me. They did all the attacking for Seth Rollins, and then they ended up attacking Seth Rollins himself. What the hell is going on? And who is doing this storyline? This doesn't make no sense whatsoever. You had Seth Rollins doubting himself that if he didn't win for his team at Crown Jewel, then they would have had looked at him different. This is 2 years too soon. It's way too early. This is this is not this is predictable, and they didn't let this play out as it should have played out in the long run. The long game that's the long game. They are not Bron Breakker now the new leader of the division along with Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed, and they did the choice. It don't make no sense. And I think Seth Rollins just want to team up with Roman Reigns. It just really don't make no sense right now. That's way too soon, too quick. They don't need to be teaming, they need to be feuding. And now it makes things too complicated because you got Seth Rollins gonna have to defend the title against CM Punk. And we don't know if Seth Rollins is injured or what. It's just too soon, too quick. It don't make no sense whatsoever. If Brock Lesnar's in this, yeah, but it just don't make no sense. Plain simple. Seth Rollins should have aligned with Paul Heyman what they did. This is like it burnt out too quick. This happened at WrestleMania, and now it just like burnt in the flames like that real quick. I just don't get this. It just don't make no sense whatsoever. And whoever did the storyline, Triple H approved it. So he needs to be kind of like you trying to shock folks. This ain't working, and it's gonna backfire. It's gonna burn in their faces when it ain't gonna work. So I don't know why Seth Rollins. Maybe Seth Rollins want to entertain and get back with Roman and reunite the Shield for Survivor Series. That's great and dandy, but that's too soon. They should have waited another year or two for that to happen. This was just getting started with the group, the vision, and how can you go from this to this at the end of the night? It just don't make no sense whatsoever. Whoever thought about this really needs to kind of, what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. And it really doesn't make sense. It doesn't equate to that. Like when Roman Reigns was with Paul Heyman, they was there for nearly almost 5 years. You don't see them breaking up like that within the 5 years. I mean, within a year. This is crazy. It's real crazy. I mean, real crazy. But I do as you must. But we're gonna see how this gonna progress because I just don't see this. Bron Breakker want to be world champion. He's not ready, and he's not ready to be the moment to be a world champion at the moment. And it's gonna break. It's gonna backfire in his face. I tell you. Watch what I tell you. Well, we get to the heat right here. As you can tell right here, a lot of tables getting auctioned. You see Braun Breaker auction off a table and stuff like that. Well as this, another Slim Jim table right there. So a lot of stuff getting sent. Speaking of that, we told you we have the archive, the Bound for Glory, a special Bound for Glory recap of Bound for Glory. And it's like Bullet Ray telling to folks, thank you, the end. So they went out Bound for Glory out on their own terms rather than somebody else's terms, rather than Vince McMahon's terms. So we see how that moving forward. This Raw was kind of meteoric. It just didn't make no sense of them trying to break up Seth Rollins with the division, and then Seth Rollins gonna want to be back with Roman. He had probably said, "I want to work with Roman." Dude, you need to try to get your, you know what I'm saying, your Kirks and stuff, but that's what they do. They don't think of stuff like that. They just go with the flow and don't flow with the go. So hey, it is what it is. Don't speaking of next week on Raw, Seth's wife, Becky Lynch, will defend the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Maxine Dupree. Is Maxine Dupree ready to use lighting the ball again and win the Women's Intercontinental Championship? This is her moment. This is her chance to do so. It's going to be tough, but can she beat the man, Becky Lynch? We'll see next week on Raw. Well, that's going to do it here for the Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Kenny Dick, saying so long. As you see Seth Rollins being betrayed by his own vision, what's going on? We'll talk about it next week. But I've been your host, Kenny Dick, saying so long. We'll see you next time for another edition. We'll see you on Tuesday for the NXT Report, and we'll see you next time here on the Pro Wrestling Show.